Well, good morning. My name is Tom. I come to you from the Rustic log cabin in Northern Maine. Welcome to my trapping shop this morning. Get yourself a coffee. Look, I got to open it up just a little bit more. I'm sitting in the back of the shop today. I'm getting ready to put on a new stovepipe. I'm sitting on a tree that fell down about this big around. It's a butternut tree. Another project I got to do to haul this off. But when this tree fell down this past summer, it took out my stovepipe. That's not what today's video is about, it's just where I'm sitting. Today I need to be working on 2 ladders. I've got the materials to build 2 ladders for the hunt shacks. And I also am going to build a minimum of 2 benches, maybe even 4. I need 2 more benches for one of the stands. We put out 3 stands this year. So I need another 2 benches for that stand, which will be the bear stand actually. And I need them for this coming Saturday. And the reason I need them is I'm bringing my grandson in for a day of hunting. It's youth day of deer season. So I want to keep it fun for him, and I want him to have a good time. It's his first day out in the woods as far as hunting goes. So what I've decided to do is sit in the bear stand for, we'll get there in the morning, and I want to have a hunter's breakfast with him. You know, bacon, eggs, and toast and all that, make it fun there. And then we'll leave from the cabin and go out to the bear stand, and I'll let him use the 22 Magnum with a scope on it. Because there's a ton of gray squirrels coming in, and it's gray squirrel season. So that would give him some really good experience using the 22 Magnum on live game, as well as using the scope on live game. And it will give him a starter to the day, you know, because sometimes sitting in a deer stand all day, you might not see anything. So I don't want him to have that kind of a hunting experience on his first day. So I'm going to bring him in, let him shoot some squirrels in the morning, and then in the afternoon we're going to head over and set out the evening in the deer stand. And that's the deer stand I just put in a week ago. Now you can believe this or not, it's as true as I'm sitting here. I built it 2 Saturdays ago. Last Saturday I went in to clean out my shooting lanes, just cut down some saplings so I had a little bit of shooting lanes. When I pulled up to the hunt shack, there was a doe bedded down behind the hunt shack, 20 feet. I mean, because there's a big brush pile around that anyways. And you guys saw the video of me putting it together, all them natural fir trees as my camouflage. I swear by that natural camouflage of fir trees. I have studied deer for years and years and years. I have built tree stands for years and years and years, and I have always covered them in natural fir trees, and I've always tried to build them inside of the fir trees, the ones that are growing. Go in, cut a hole out, and then put your tree stand in. And it's without fail. Every single tree stand, deer will use that brush pile and use those fir trees as cover. They always have. I mean, it's nothing new here. But anyways, I was there last Saturday. I drove in with my 6-wheeler, just like I always do. Pulled up to the tree stand, shut the key off, and the deer stood up. It's a doe. Now, I always consider does a little bit on the dumb side anyways. But anyways, What that now, if you've watched any of my videos, I've talked about letting the deer get to know you. Let the deer get to know you. Let the deer get to know your smell. That doe was not concerned with that six-wheeler at all whatsoever, or me. So that tells me, number one, is she's gotten used to me. I mean, I've been in there for 3 months this summer, cutting trails, driving the six-wheeler, building hunt shacks. You know, I've literally have been there every single week for the last 3 months. On and off. Not every day, sometimes 3-4 days in a row, sometimes for the week, depending on what I'm doing in there. But that doe couldn't care about me for nothing. She stood to her feet, she looked at me, she looked at the six-wheeler. She didn't run off, she didn't scamper off. She went around the backside of the brush pile. I kept seeing her through the brush pile. And she went around it, and she came out to the left of me, which is really thick. A couple more steps, and then she was out of sight. But she wasn't in no rush. She got around 3/4 of the hunt shack, stopped, was looking at me, not running off, not nothing. So that goes into a lot of what I've talked about over the last 4 years with this deer. Now, I know gonna be some naysayers and whatever, but hey, take it for what it's worth. That's what happened, and I've done it over and over and over and over for years and years and years, using these fir trees and all of that as my natural camouflage, as well as letting the does get to know you. All I got to do is make friends with the doe, because the buck will follow her in. You know, that's the way it works. So anyways, but getting back to what we're doing today. But I had to throw in that deer story, because that tree stand wasn't in a week, and I've already seen a deer underneath it. So and I talked about this in other videos. When that tree stand gets the chance to sit there for an entire year, then it will be ripe. Right now, it didn't bother that deer, but let it sit there for a whole year. You know, and they're not going to care about it. They are not going to care about it, especially where this one is located. It's located on a funnel. It's not located in the bedroom. It's not located in the feeding area. It's located on a funnel that the deer will travel through. So they're not there other than when they're passing through. So that's why I hunt funnels, and that's why I push funnels. So today I'm building 2 ladders. Like I said, they're all pressure treated. I'm calling them old people ladder because I'm building these stands so that I can hunt well into my 70s and beyond. So these ladders are 2 feet wide. There's the width of the hatch that they go up in the hole. They'll be 2 feet wide, and there'll be a foot between the two rungs. So that's a pretty good old person ladder, and that's what I'm building it for. And that'll go up through the hatch. So they're not completely the way they'll be installed, but I don't have time to do that this year. So what I'm going to do is just build a hatch cover to put over the top. What I want to get finished over the winter, and as well as maybe even next summer, is I would like a hatch that's on hinges. That way I can close it. So that means I'm going to have to cut the ladders down so that they'll be just under the floor, and then I can close the hatch behind me and have a good flat floor up inside the hunt shack. And I will also be putting carpeting down. I've got I'll be putting I got some plush carpeting that I'll be cutting to fit inside of the shack, and that's so that it quiets down the floor. Anytime you move your feet or anything like that, that'll muffle any feet noise that might come up. I try to eliminate as much noise as I can. Let's see, so I'm building those ladders, I'm building the hatches, and I thought there was one more thing. Probably is one more thing, but oh, benches. So I've got to build some ladders today, I got to build some benches, and I got to build some hatches. It's going to be a pretty busy day. That's 8 feet. They'll end up being 8 treads, 2 feet wide, and that will fit nicely into my new hunt shacks out there. Never build a ladder without this little piece. If you do, I'll come find you and haunt you. Over time, that ladder will become soft and dangerous. 20 years. And you don't want to take a chance. I build these out of pressure treated, and I've got ladders still out in the woods that are sound, safe, and been out there for 15 years. What I do, even though this is pressure treated, next year I will stain it. Number one, make it blend into the woods better, but also protects the ladder. These pieces are 8 inches. 8 inches and a 2x4. That makes it a 12-inch step, which is exactly what a ladder is. Now, I call these old people ladders. And the reason I say that is because this thing is 2 feet wide. So it's a whole lot easier to climb than a regular ladder because it's 2 feet wide instead of 16 inches. That'll make all the difference in the world. Another few years from now for me. There it is, one finished pressure treated ladder for tree stand number 3. Deer season's coming, better get this stuff behind me. There's the 2 new benches for the hunt shack, and the hatch is what the benches are sitting on. So I got my benches built, I got the hatch built, and I got the 2 ladders built. So I head for Beaver Creek tomorrow to install all this stuff and get ready for Youth Day. But this will wrap up the stuff that I need for them hunt shacks for this year. And then deer season, like I said, be here in another, I think it's about 2 weeks away now, give or take. Whenever you guys get this video. But it's fall time. I had somebody, hey, when is the green hat coming out? Well, it's cold enough now for the green hat to come out. It's gonna be a beautiful day. The leaves are still on the trees here a little bit. Over at the Beaver Creek, there's no leaves at all. And the same thing up at the Rustic log cabin, no leaves. So our fall foliage came and went pretty fast this year. We had a massive windstorm 2 or 3 days ago, and it really blew a lot of trees down over at Beaver Creek on the way in. But outside of that, everything else was, all the leaves are completely gone off the trees. So it made it pretty nice for cutting out them shooting lanes that I needed to get trimmed up. And the first shack I put in, I don't need to do anything there for shooting lanes, but I do need to cut the tops off some of the fir trees. You know, if you want to help out, if you own the property and you want to help out your deer in your deer area, what I do is I have a machete. And any fir tree that is 6 feet tall, 8 feet tall, I whack a top off it. And in a couple of years, I'll whack a top off them again. I've been going through my property over there and just whacking the tops off these fir trees. Because what happens is, instead of that fir tree growing up straight and tall with no limbs on it, it forces that tree, it forces the stuff on the bottom to grow wider and thicker before the tree gets a chance to grow up. So, you know, in 10 years, you'll have a plump, fluffy fir tree right there. And like I said, I've been studying deer. I've always studied this fir growth and all that, and how the deer play in it. And that's why I'm whacking the tops off, because it'll make that stuff thick and thieves in there, and that's where the deer will come through. They will come from hummock to hummock, you know, fir tree to fir tree, brush pile to brush pile. You know, they won't just come right through. They will make their trail go to them thick spots as they come through. I've seen it time and time again. This isn't the first time I've done this, whacking the tops off trees. And it also helps out your other game. You know, like, you know, I'm going to go through and hit every one of them. This is a new growth forest because it was not really clear cut years, probably, I would say 4 years ago, 5 years ago, they came through and took out all the valuable wood. So I've got a lot of saplings. I've got a lot of fir trees that are 6 feet tall. I mean, they're absolutely everywhere. So it's a perfect time for me to whack them tops off. But it doesn't just help out the deer population, it also helps out the rabbit population, the partridge population. But let's talk about the rabbits. When the rabbits have got clearings and all of that, then it's easy for the owls and hawks and eagles to pick off a rabbit. But if you make them trees plump and fluffy, then that helps out your rabbit population in your area. And it'll help them get in there and stay there if you want rabbits close by. So it's another reason that I have played with whacking the tops off these fir trees for the better part of 40 years. So, you know, protecting the rabbits from the sky. So, but it carries over with the deer as well. You know, make them fir trees nice and fluffy, you know, in and around your tree stands, and you're going to have a better tree stand, especially in these funnels. We want these funnels, we want the deer to feel like they are really protected. So anyways, you guys have a last sip of coffee with me, and I will see you in the next video.